welcome to another edition of Rudy's 10 at 10 on the 10th. I am Rudy Garza, the President and CEO of IAEI. Thank you for joining me this morning for my monthly 10-minute update on what's going on at the international offices. Well, as most of you have probably heard by now, we suffered one of the largest natural disasters in Texas history with the recent freeze. I know for most of our members who reside in our northern areas of the United States, and even those of you that are in Canada, sub-zero and near zero temperatures are no big deal. It's just part of your regular winter. But here in Texas, where it rarely gets anywhere near freezing or below freezing, those temperatures caused complete chaos and even destruction in the state. And ironically, the most catastrophic thing that happened to us here in Texas was that our electric grid got totally overloaded. You know, with the citizens here in Texas trying to heat their homes, it put a tremendous strain on our electric grid. And right now, what I learned during this whole process is that Texas gets about 20% of all its electricity from windmill power. The problem with that is that the windmills in Texas all froze because they weren't equipped with heaters to melt the ice. And so right off the bat, we lost 20% of our electricity. And then what happened is our natural gas generation plants started to freeze up, so we lost another 20% of our electricity. So now the state is operating at around 60% capacity and 100% demand. And the result was that we were experiencing rolling blackouts for several days in these freezing temperatures. So now we have all these millions of homes across the state of Texas in freezing temperatures with no electricity and no heat. And that creates a snowball effect, because when you don't have electricity and you don't have any heat in your home and you're below freezing, water pipes start freezing and they start busting. So what we had was hundreds of thousands of people across the state of Texas stuck in their homes that were actually being flooded by busted pipes, and they had no power at all. And then to top it all off, the water treatment plants across the state lost power, and therefore they could not sanitize the drinking water system. And so millions of Texans, we have 42 million residents in Texas, but millions of our residents were put on a boil water notice. And all of this chaos went on for about 5 days. And even today, there are still some lingering effects of the freeze 2 weeks ago, because people are still trying to fix busted pipes and, drywall that collapsed in their homes as a result of the busted pipes. And so, no, we're not prepared in Texas for record-breaking low freezing temperatures or even snowfall. And no, we don't know how to drive in snow or ice in Texas. But for those of you up north who this is just an everyday occurrence during y'all's winters, just imagine if it were like 120 degrees, we're up north where you are, for 5 consecutive days, and you had no electricity and no water. If you could put that into perspective, that's how we were down here, just totally not prepared for what happened. I would guess if there was any bright spot in the entire tragedy, it was that Texans realized how important electricity is. And that's a great thing for us. We know that there are new sweeping changes happening across the state to make sure this never happens to our electric grid again. Luckily, the IAEI office was spared of any major damage, but for about 5 or 6 days, we all had to work from home. And when I say work from home, I mean that loosely, because many of us didn't even have electricity to connect to the internet or anything. So we worked remotely as we could as electricity came on and off, on and off. We even had some some staff members who had their homes flooded. So it touched us here in the office. So moving on, now that you've heard the story of the Great Texas Freeze, moving on to what's happening around the international office. The first thing I wanted to let everyone know about is our book bundle specials. We have a large inventory of books that we're trying to move out of our warehouse. And so we've created these bundles, these specials that you can see on the screen right now. And I want to encourage you to take advantage of these specials while they last, because they won't be around forever. And what you're basically going to get when you buy these bundles is you're getting a free code book plus a discount on the other books that are in the bundle. So it's a great opportunity. If you want more details on the book bundle special, you can look in this month's IAEI magazine, or you can obviously go to the website IAEI.org and you'll see banner ads about our book bundle specials. I also want to encourage those sections that if you're having a face-to-face annual meeting this year, you really should go ahead and buy these bundles now while they're on special, and then utilize them at your section meetings, because you're going to get way more bang for your buck by purchasing these bundles and distributing them at your meeting, and then you can resell them obviously at whatever prices you determine are fair to your members. Which leads me to the second thing I wanted to talk about, and related to IAEI, and that is the IAEI section meetings. At the international office, we want to help as much as we can with helping you put together your section meetings. And we want to help especially for those that are having face-to-face annual meetings this year. And I'll give you for instance, we're working with the Northwestern and Southwestern section as they plan their joint meeting this year, later this year. And since we have a full-time graphic designer here on staff, we've been able to utilize him to put together their save the date postcard that you see on the screen right now. They gave us the information and we handed it over to Fred and he put it together, and they were extremely pleased with the product that we were able to provide for them for free. Now, we didn't print them, but we did save all the files for them, and they were able to print them at their convenience. The other thing that we're doing for them that we just started was we're promoting their annual meeting, joint meeting on social media. As y'all know, IAEI has pages on all the social media platforms, and we're going to be assisting them with social media marketing of the Northwest and Southwestern joint meeting. The other thing that came up in a meeting, the most recent planning meeting with the Northwestern and Southwestern section, was they asked us if we could help with their program for their meetings, and that's what we're doing. We're going to receive the information from them regarding what's going to be happening at their meetings. And again, Fred, who lays out our magazine and all our books, is going to assist them in laying it out. Once we get the information, laying everything out for their programs and then giving it to them. We might even be able to get them printed for them, because we do have a good relationship with our printer at a much cheaper cost than they could do it on their own. And I say all this because I want to let all of our sections know that if you are having a face-to-face annual meeting, please include us in the planning process. All you have to do is contact Michelle by email at the address that's on the screen and let her know, send us the information on y'all's meetings, if it's a Zoom meeting or a GoToWebinar meeting, whatever it is, and we'll attend. And when items come up that we think we can help y'all with, we're certainly going to step up to the plate and do everything we can. The final thing I actually wanted to mention on this edition of Rudy's 10 at 10 on the 10th is I wanted to talk to you about our online training opportunities here at the International Office. As most of y'all probably already know, the International Office has really stepped up its online training game. We built this magnificent studio that I'm taping the show from, and we taped all of our trainings in here, and we now have a library of trainings on our IAEIcourses.org website that you can go to and that your members can go to and receive trainings directly from IAEI. The reason I bring this up is that we continue on a weekly basis to get calls and emails from members across the country and even in Canada, saying that since their section, division, or chapter is not meeting due to COVID, they're not getting their trainings in person, and they would like to know how they can get their trainings. And that really surprises me and shocks me a little bit, because we've been marketing and advertising that we here at the International Office are offering trainings online. And I just want to say this because if your members are out there looking for continuing education credits, continuing education hours, I should say, there's no reason that they should go outside the family, the IAE family, and go to one of our competitors to get their training. The IO, the International Office, at our course, at our website, IAEIcourses.org, we have those trainings available. They don't need to go somewhere else. They don't need to go to one of our competitors. We have the best trainings, as all of our members know. So even though you're not meeting, or you may not be meeting in person, or you may be meeting virtually, but you're not offering any trainings, we want to encourage you to tell your members that they can come to our website, IAEIcourses.org, and receive the trainings that they need, that they don't need to go outside the family and get their trainings. So again, I'm Rudy Garza. I'm the president and CEO of IAEI, and I want to thank you for joining me today, and everyone have a wonderful week.